Hello, hello. How is everybody doing today? Well, it looks like we just are kind of on a downtrend here the last couple minutes. It was kind of just hanging around that 28, that 38.28 area is now sliding down. So it has been actually a bit choppy. And in this type of environment, um, when we talk about income trades, man, you know that Iron Condor would have been good for SPX if you're into trading those types of instruments. If you have any questions about anything that I'm referring to right now, please stick it in the box and I will get to your questions. Hopefully, I wonder if Jay's going to be here today. We're a little early, just waiting for noon Pacific Standard Time. Christmas week is typically like a really difficult week to trade in, just because there's just not a lot of volume out there. And what ends up happening is when you're taking a short dated call or a put, you really need some volume behind you. And I kind of refer it to like an ebb and a flow of like a wave. And so you get yourself into a short dated call or put, and you really need the volume of other people to push you in the direction that you're going. And so like a surfboard, you're really wanting that push towards the direction that you're going in order to gain some premium in your position. If you don't, and it's just choppy, and you have a stop loss as an example, you'll get chopped up, and that's where that term comes from. You're getting chopped up in the market because it's going up 60 cents and then down 40 cents and then up 50 cents and then down 30 cents, and you're just kind of going every which way, and it's really not pushing you over the finish line, whether it be a 5-minute EMA. And you'll notice that I'm on a 1 minute right now, just because it's like the candles are barely moving. So with that, you just want to take into consideration that, if you get yourself into a position, you may want to utilize a spread in this example, because a spread is really hedging that one call or put, because with a spread, you're typically buying a call and then you're selling a call as an example. And then that allows that chop doesn't destroy your position. Now, do you still need a big push? And the answer is yeah, you really do. You need that big push anyway. But in a spread, it just doesn't chop you up enough to hit your stop loss and then to get you out, your 30% or your 25%, whatever your stop loss is, versus a spread. It would take much longer to get to your stop loss of a 25 as an example, or 30% loss to get stopped out. So that's why sometimes those spreads allow you to stay in those positions much longer. And it allows you basically to be in a position to where, okay, the market's doing absolutely nothing right now. And it's okay, because we've chosen a direction and we're waiting for it to move. And could it move, as an example, overnight? And more often than not, it does. And then hopefully you're in that position, right? And there's limited risk and limited reward. Now, it's not for everyone. I think spreads are great for people that are working full time, or that are, you're in school, you're in college, and you don't have an opportunity to sit at your computer and watch the screen to make sure that, your position is being managed. Where when you're in a spread, because you have that larger bumper of error there, you can sit in your position a much longer. You can just automate your positions and they become easy. Now, I suggest actually automating most of your positions anyway, just because it could limit the amount of risk you're in. Because then, what ends up happening is you get yourself in a position, you're like, okay, I'm going to put a mental stop on here as an example of 15 cents. And so that's $15 per contract that I'm going to put a mental stop on. And what ends up happening? Well, it blows through your 15 cents. And then what does your mind do? Well, we create another buffer and say, okay, 5 more cents. Okay, maybe 10 more cents. And then before you know it, you're at a $30 per contract loss, which could be a lot depending on how many contracts you have, and so on and so forth. And so that's why if you just automatically put your position in with the stop loss, which is really easy to do, then you won't have to do much of that. So if you haven't seen any of my automated videos, check out my channel. Got an entire playlist of automation, and that could really help you, I think, in your trading. Let me see if there's any questions before we start. And I don't see Jay around. So currently, I'm trying to see if we can doing this on Zoom. I'm live on YouTube as well as in our Discord. So hopefully we got this all going on. Good practice for me because, as you know, I'm technically challenged, everybody, when it comes to IT. So I was going to do this with OBS. If anybody has any experience with that, you'll have to let me know. And since for whatever reasons, I just cannot seem to master OBS, I decided, well, let me see if I can try to master this on Zoom. All right, so I am checking out, let's see, our power hour in our Discord. Anybody got any questions? No. Well, let's take a look at some tickers. If you have some tickers you want to take a look at to see what it might be good for a swing trade, let me know. Let me know what you're looking at. Let me know what you are trading right now. And we'll see if we can take a look at some of these tickers and get something going. The other thing I wanted to do as well is, some people were asking me about the support and resistance that I typically use. And I kind of wanted to go through that while it's slow right now. Unless we get a nice flush, I'll definitely be jumping into something. But as of right now, as you can see on our charts, I mean, we literally have, a negative 43 ticks. That's for the entire stock market right here, is just a negative 142. So that's not a lot of action going on comparably when you take a look at all the buyers and all the sellers. And now we have a negative 326. So it's actually getting, and what this tick label means is that as a whole, with all the buyers and with all the sellers, there is 200, as an example, 57 more sellers than there are buyers. That's what that tick chart means. So when you see that label, it can kind of give you kind of a heads up, right? And what's the outlier of the buyers and sellers? So now we see that it's gone up to 529. So this is a great example. We were at 42, 147, 300. Now we're at 520. And so as you can see, the buyers are increasing, or excuse me, the sellers are increasing. And as the sellers are increasing, our price on SPX is going down. So this is just confirmation of what you are identifying as a label. Now you could go in here and type $tick. And what will happen is you will then see a chart just like this of candles. And it's basically measuring all the buyers and sellers in the market. So this just makes it easy for you. to just identify. And the same is true for these buy and sell labels as well. I mean, it's really just real-time buying and selling within any, ticker that you're in. And so it just lends, I guess, confluence to any other indicator that you may be using. Now, I like to use trend lines a lot because I think they are they're not as lagging as other indicators are. And because of that, I liked, using them even while scalping or day trading. Because you can create a trend line, or you could have an indicator on your screen create a trend line. And with the break of that trend line, you then know automatically that something is moving, and it's not lagging at all. You're watching price break through a trend line, and that should give you an indication of where price is going. And right now, price is definitely heading to the downside. And even though it's negative 520 ticks, just looking at some positions here, even though it's a negative 500, now 200 ticks, you can see that, it went from 22 to 20. So even if you were, trying to scalp, you would definitely have to, maybe have an out of the money type of call or put to be able to withstand the going down 1 or 2 points and then a stop, and then, going down another point and then stopping. Unless, now an SPX is expensive, right? But if we went to like SPY as an example, that's something that you could get into and just hold on to it and say, okay, I'm going to just buy a put and hang on to it. And it's probably not going to, it's not going to roughhouse you like SPX is, just because when SPX finally does move and it moves in an opposite direction of where you're going, it could be costly. Now on 0 DTEs, it's a little bit better just because those items are much cheaper, but they come with a higher risk. I like to look at SPX as just an entire gauge of the market. When we're looking at what is the market doing. But as you can see, we had some crazy kind of rides up and down today, especially in some of the stocks that we were in. I mean, at one point, I think we were in a position of NVIDIA, it was, plus 80%. And within a matter of seconds, it was down, to just a 40% profit. And when you see those, swings, I mean, you're talking about just candles within a moment's notice. Literally, it was like minutes, but this morning was a lot more hectic than it is right now. It looks like Tesla's on a nice ride down here. We've really had, if you're in a put position on Tesla, let's take a look at that. You could see that the trend line that I have with an indicator that's called best trend lines has created automatically this trend line of support and resistance. And as you can see, when it was below it, the candles are red. When we're above it, it's green. And now we're breaking down below it. I had marked a day or two ago that this to me was kind of a fine line for me, this 151. And you could see that we clearly have broken through that. That would have been a nice overnight short. Did not get that, but still looking good. It's coming into a area right here of demand where, people might be interested in buying here at the low, but I don't know. We've been in a very negative environment for a while. And so I'm not sure if anyone's going to step up and buy anything Christmas week. You never know, they might at the last moment, but as of right now, you could see that on a shorter time period, which really an hourly chart is not a shorter time period. We've really gone through the bullseye is indicated, hey, at 173.13 on an hourly chart, that would have been a good entry for a put play. And you can see all the targets that it's hit from that entry several days ago. Let me just go really far out here. And you can see that's probably a good week and a half. You could see when that actually hit, and actually very nice confirmation of just staying underneath that 21 EMA the entire time. And even though it's on, it's in this trend line and it's literally on top of that trend line, more like a wedge, right? What it's doing, it's just following it down nicely. Oh, it's a good, beautiful bear chart of Tesla. Let's see if this thing is going to. The other way that you could utilize, by the way, these targets, if you have the bullseye indicator on your chart, is even though, right now where it's identifiable, it's in the bearish range, you could utilize, because these are based on ATR, which is average true range of for the targets. And so as we can see this, and you're making a determination based on your own analysis and due diligence, you could utilize that as targets and go, I by hand created a target here of 151, but clearly this is on a day chart. So the ATR for this stock is a nice range. But if we just put this on an hourly because you wanted to do an overnighter as an example, oh boy, we've already passed all of that. So we're kind of getting away here is what I'm looking at, is we have this gap up here as the gap finder is identifying this gap. And we also are very far away from our 21. Now, trading, we refer to it as a bell curve. And at some point when price gets away from the median, it typically will rise back up to get closer to, and you'll notice that each time that we've fallen down and we ride time, we could have fallen down steeper, but what it did is it rode time out, because you either ride it by distance or time. And so as you could see, it just kind of rode it by distance here. And then it touches the 21. And then again, it rides it down along with time, 2 days lower again. And then it comes back up and touches it. And now we're riding it down again. And so you could see on an hourly chart, I have an exhaustion. Identifier of, hey, it's coming up and up. It's coming on the screen and then off of the screen. So it's still indecisive on an hourly. But once it becomes solid with, let's take a look on a smaller time frame, like maybe a 30-minute. Take a look at that. Yeah, so it pointed out it's getting exhausted here, but it's still, going down just a little bit on a 30-minute chart. And it looks like it may stable out. But at some point here, either time is going to pass and this starts to just go sideways, meeting. And then what I mean by meeting is this 21 will start to head down, and then the two shall meet. And then once the two shall meet, a decision will be made, whether that's going to be a buy trigger or another sell signal, another sell trigger, as it was here, as it was here, and as it was here. And so that's why we say it's either by distance or time. Time technically means just consolidation goes sideways as the EMA is actually meeting up to it. And so there's always, that thing of it having to at least recover a little bit, either by time or price. So let's see if there are any questions now that we have finally officially started Power Hour. Be interesting to see the last half hour of this. Hello, everybody. Let me just say hello really quick. I appreciate you being here. Brian from AZ, Gray Sky, Jody, Pahil, Liquidone. Liquidone, that's cute. Pamela, quiet. Raphael, Soaring Eagle. Soaring Eagle, how are you? I sent you that, what was that called? Alpha Crunch thing. I was hoping to get your perspective on it. Scoopmith, I hope I'm saying that right. Tangle Web. Tonel or Tonlel. Tonel. You guys have any questions, please jot them down. I would love to get to them. No questions in the Discord. Let me just really quick check over here. Anybody? Anybody from YouTube? You got any questions? Just jot them down. I'm happy to get to them for you. All right, back to the charts. Let me see, are there any plays going on in here? Let's see if let's go on a smaller time frame. See if we got, you have to, excuse me, I'm surprised how slow my computer's going, but it must be because I have everything working. All right, so nothing here. Let me go here. Nothing to see here on Tesla as far as like a scalp is concerned. I'm pretty nervous to do anything on my computer. I'm glad I have two here, just in case. So SPX still in that 38.20 range. What is up with that? So it's just chopping around at this range. And gosh, if we were in iron condors right now, or maybe that broken wing butterfly, the income generating broken wing butterfly, I think those would have been some pretty nice trades this week as we just go sideways during Christmas week. Christmas, very difficult time to trade. Let me just check out something. All right, so it looks like SPX is rising up just a little bit, but the candles are deceiving because it's moving so slowly. We just don't have a ton of volume in here, but we do have some positive ticks going. Just check it to see if we got any swing trades I need to post really quick. Doing both of these at one time is a little. Looks like our swing trader wants to get into NVIDIA again. Am I still in NVIDIA? I think I still have a runner in NVIDIA even after today, which is still doing well. Let me see, what does he have for that? Oh. All right, so he's got his time stamp is a little later. Okay. All right. For those of you that are in our Discord, please check out the swing channel. Let me see if I can get that texted out really quick. Sorry to put you on a pause. Sorry, guys. One moment. Get the swing trade out on the video. Let's take a look at that chart too. Post that. Mm. That is hard to do all by myself here. Hold on for a sec. Almost done, almost done. All right. There's actually 2 trades. Forgot to post in here. All right. So we have some swing trades up for tonight. Excelente. Okay, let's take a look at some charts here. And by the way, for those of you that do the swing trades, I don't know if you've noticed this already, but in the morning, if your trade is, making money, and, one of the best ideas is really, it's more of a strategy, is that if you made money overnight on a swing trade, in the morning, the first 10, 15 minutes, get out of your swing trade. And the reason is because when you have that high volatility in the morning, you're going to see your gain exponentially inflate, and you can get out of your trade with much more profit than if you let the IV subside and calm down. And that's just a fact. So, and then could you not re-enter a new trade, once it deflated, you got your profit out while it was inflated, and then, you get back into the trade? Absolutely. And the same thing, unfortunately, I want you to think of it this way. The same thing, unfortunately, happens when you are in a trade that goes against you. You're in a trade that goes against you. You wake up in the morning, you're like, oh no. And what's happened is the IV is so high that it's inflating. It is inflating your loss. So it's making it larger than if volatility crushed a little bit. It would then calm down by 20, 30, 40%. And so this is what you should be thinking about in the morning, first thing when you have trades on. If I'm in profit, I should exit. And if I'm not in profit, this is the hardest part. If I'm not in profit and I'm losing money, can I hold on for 15 minutes until the IV crushes? Because when the IV crushes, I won't be losing as much. I want you to think about that and ask me any questions if you do. And if I don't get to them here, just know that you can contact me anytime via Discord or any of my contact information, and I'll get back to you. But I want you to think about that. If you're in a winning position, your premium's inflated for that 10 or 15 minutes. And if you're in a losing position, your losses are inflated, creating a lot of stress on you. So if you can wait when you're losing for that volatility to crush, you might not be in that much of a losing position versus when you first wanted to get out of that position. Okay, so as we're taking a look at the NVIDIA here on a short-term time frame, can't really see anything. Let's look at it on an hourly and a 15. Typically on swings, I like an hourly and a 15. So on an hourly, this has been going down, and you can see that price now is basically has come and is almost touching or is getting closer to the 21, which is the mean. And then we're going to come over to a 15 minutes. So this is still bearish on a 1 hourly. And on a 15, though, it actually has met price and it's sitting right on top of price. That's actually a positive for a stock. However, it needs to continue doing this to the 30-minute and then to the 1 hour for it to be a bullish position. So in the meantime, you can see that our indicator has identified this as a trend line. And as it touched, it went down. If it touches it again, it could go down. But on a 15-minute, you can also see that our regression trend line is still kind of heading down. So this may go up a little bit, but in all cases, this is still in a bearish tone. And you could tell that on a shorter time period, it's looking much better. However, it needs to do this for a little bit more time because time is fractal. So what ends up happening is if the 15 continues in a positive way and changes, as an example, the 20-minute and then changes the 30-minute, that's how it changes the 1 hour. And that's how the 1 hour actually changes the day chart. But at the end of the day, when you're still looking at the canvas, it's still, as far as the map is concerned, it's still bearish. And then let's look at the day. So now you can see on a day chart, you have a regression channel that was, it's still going up, maybe not as steep as it was before. We did just yesterday, we broke the 21, which is major. And we have confirmation today of the break. So it wasn't like a fake out. This was a complete confirmation. You could see, by the way, the day before on a day chart, we actually broke that vertical trend line, which is gold. And you can tell, when we hit it, we bounced up, we came over to it, wasn't sure if we were going to just hit it and bounce up again, or if we were going to break down. It actually was a confirmation of the breakdown. And then here is the confirmation of the breakdown below the 21. And you could see that the bullseye on a day chart says that this was a good put buy at 165.71. Your stop loss at 173. And the next target's at 157.91. And that's on a longer time period. So let's just look again. Let's check out the 30-minute. Since it's in between the 15 and the 1. So this kind of gives you, I think on a 30-minute, this kind of gives you a good representation of where we're at. Are we going to come and touch the 21 on a 30-minute and then retreat back down? Well, I can tell you that your stop loss, is at the prior day close, which is at 162.91. So you could utilize that stop loss. It's actually a nice stop loss. It's actually just above the prior day high. So 162.91, that's not too far off. And if this, it really needs to stay on a 30-minute below 161.36 for this to really be a nice confirmation of a put play. And then we still have the bear wave showing. So even though there's some positive movement here, it's not positive enough to tell us that this possibly, even though it's going slightly up, that this could just be a fake out. That's what that's telling us. This could be a fake out. So that's where we're at for that. And then what was the other swing that we just had really quick? Let me just take a look at that and then look at that chart. I don't play a cat very often. So let me look at that chart. And by the way, if you're in our service or any other service, when you get an alert, you can change these trades to anything you want. They don't have to be calls or puts. You could change it into a spread, like a debit spread, to limit your risk, especially overnight. If you're in any type of play, you could turn it into a spread or just close down your position and open up a spread so that your overnight risk is low. And then you can remove the wing to it in the morning if you wanted to continue, with that single option, call or put. So let's see here for let's take a look at CAT. Okay, so CAT was actually positive today. So this is the way that I'm analyzing this is our trader looks like he's going for the reversal. So this has been positive. We went up $2.55, but we're hitting resistance here, right? It's big and red right here. This is resistance. This is, where the supply is. So people are going to start selling in this area because they're all seeing the same things that we're noticing. So if you're a supply and demand trader, then you're going to recognize that you have a trend line up here. We touched it with an algo here, which, by the way, the algo is all the programmable orders that were there. And why did everybody set it there? You got an ATR target here, you got the trend line here, and you got resistance here. If that's not confluence to you, I just don't know what it could be. So you have all these orders that were set and were executed. Price is drifting above here again. And so we actually have to break, kind of have to go into this zone right here. To really see if this thing is going to break and go much higher. But for the most part, this is definitely hey, I'm at resistance, and I think this is going to go down. So now if we take a look, I kind of like on support and resistance plays for a longer term. I do like the 4-hour chart. So see, now when I look at the 4-hour chart, I kind of see that, well, we could get to the 236 level. So I could see why he said super light on this position. I could see why. And that's because there's still a little bit of room up here for a double top. So price came up here, and price may come back up here again and test it a third time. And if it does, well, you could see the gold, my gold trend line up here. That's what that gold line is. You could see it, check it out twice. So it could come back right back up here. If nothing else, I'm thinking around this 237 range. And by the way, on a straight call or put, let's say a straight put, who wants to go to 237, right? Not me. Let's see. Yeah, the wave is positive still on a 4-hour. Now let's break it down and start looking at the smaller time frames. So we kind of hit our the highest it was going to get in the morning. So now this is becoming more clear as you go to a smaller time frame, because now you're starting to see action that has just occurred. So now that you see action that has just occurred, you can kind of get the flavor of, oh, okay. So on a smaller time frame and a smaller time frame, you could see that we had strength. We tested that strength. It actually stayed above this on a 15-minute, stayed above this. I think I would actually feel more comfortable after breaking that 21 personally. So that 234.60, 234.66, but I think he's trying to get an early jump on here, because you can see like it's barely touching. So what are the two options for this? Well, CAT can come down here and just automatically, the wave can go right back up, or it starts to break down. And I think that's what his analysis is clearly based on ours. But me taking a look at the chart, I'm not really sure that I love the play, but that's my own personal opinion. And I'm allowed to have an opinion. And so are you, by the way. So whenever you get an alert or advice or whatever, you get to have an opinion, because your dollars are your dollars. So even on a smaller time frame, I can see the regression channel that was once probably much higher. I could see it's leveling out. So he's getting an early jump on this. He's getting an early jump on it, and he may have it right, because our trader's like really, really good. So I probably am definitely more, I know for a fact that I'm more conservative. So knowing that, I probably would wait another day for confirmation of a trend change, and to make sure that this shorter trend as well as longer trend plays turn around. So real quick, let me just see if you have any questions. We can get to those, and then we'll get on to the next chart. Oh God, did he just post another one? Hold on, guys. Let me see what he said. I hope not. No. If I miss the exit on NVIDIA, should I get out now or just automate an exit at 50% profit or loss? So TangleWeb, if you ever feel like you missed out on an exit, you want to look at the chart and then determine, if you still think it's viable or not. I think yesterday's swing, we were in a short dated. So if you don't think that thing's going to move quite rapidly with some oomph, then I would take the longer dated NVIDIA play. And I think that's what he's getting into right now, is one that expires on December 30th, not the one that we were originally in, which was December 23. So that extra time will help you retain your premium, your capital on the position. If you're just at like break even or a small loss, you can go ahead, just take it off the table and put yourself in a new position if you still like it, with some longer time period. Give yourself another week like he did on 12/30, and then see where you go. And by the way, he also changed I think he's rolling down and out, right? So we were at 155s, he's rolling it down to 150, and he's rolling it out an extra week. I'm currently in a 38.30 strike, 15 wide butterfly, 38.30, okay? Oh, this is a nervous time for you. Okay. Cahill, tell me why are you nervous? Why is it like right now is a nervous time for you? Why is that? Let me take a look at the chart really quick and see. SPX 38.30. Sorry, my system's slow. I'm just taking a quick look at another. Oh, yeah, I can see why. Okay, so you're at 38.30. You got some profit here, huh? How much profit do you have? And what did you buy this for? What are you in this for? Is this a lotto for you, or did you buy it for some decent money and you just want to take away 50% or? Okay, so you actually bought this for a decent amount of money here, and it's currently a 920. Holy moly, Cahill. Come work for TMS. I'm looking for a zero DTE expert. You might be the person. I could see why you're nervous. I would want to take some of that off, to be quite honest with you. And And as the market's going up here, if we start to take out some stop losses, right, it's going to drive it up. Tanglewood, you can roll it, but I just want to let you know that rolling, it means that you're going to close it and reopen it. TDA just gives you a tool that you're able to do that with. If you feel comfortable doing it like that, then great. If you don't, then what you could do is just close out your present position, reopen a new position with the changes of the strike price as well as the time. But if you know how to do that in TDA and it doesn't intimidate you, yeah, you can definitely roll out and down. KK Hill, congratulations to you. It looks lovely. These butterflies are great, but hard to manage and stressful. Okay, so don't make it hard. Take your profit and run. Like, I don't understand what's so difficult about taking your profit, guys. Quit being greedy. Take your profit and run, because how long are we gonna we have what, 30 minutes? How long do you think that price is just going to like stay right there? And don't get me wrong, I mean, I want you to get $17 out of this, but I think you getting the $9 is a fabulous job. What time did you buy this at? This morning? It's awesome. I love butterflies. Love butterflies. I just wish I can get the 0DTE butterflies. I wish I can pin those. Don't we all? Cahill, you're going to have to talk to me after power hour. We just might put you to work. You don't want to leave profit on the table. Yeah. You don't want to leave profit on the table until you get smacked and you think, oh, I should have took profit off the table, right? So definitely two ways to look at that glass. I think I've been in the opposite side of what you're thinking so many times that I'm always trying to get what's left on the table. And then I lose everything that's on the table. And so now I don't think like that anymore. So really, that's just a psychological mindset that you're having. And I don't even think about that ever in my thought process anymore. If I get out with 9, then I go, hallelujah, got out with 9. Aren't I lucky? Wasn't my skills just perfect today? Versus, oh, I left money on the table. Because I could go back in time and take a look at every single trade. We're traders. We trade day trades, swing trades, when the market was normal, long-term trades. And, you could go back and do things 1,000 different ways, but it's ridiculous to think that way, in my opinion, anyway. Oh, 11 a.m. That's actually not a bad time that you got this. You're really doing quite well. I know. Don't want to leave that profit on the table. I hear you. But I want you to get away with profit. So I've just been smacked so many times that, I think I've just learned my lesson. So I'm just trying to instill the mistakes I've already made. And I hope you get out with the profit. And then let's see, anybody on live? I forget how to check YouTube. All right, there's nobody. I see there may be 14 people watching, but there's nobody, I don't think, asking any questions. All right, then. One thing I have to worry less about with the IT, because you guys know how great I am at that. I'm so glad. Now, don't be mad at me if it ends up going to 17 by the end of the day. You're going to be mad. I'm going to hear about this, KL. I'm so glad you got out with profit. Aren't you lucky, man? Sometimes, we think we know what we're doing, and we become so confident and greedy. And then the market always has a way of putting you back into your place. So I think that was a wonderful profit that you did. Yes, it is a great end to your trading day. I would agree. That's a huge profit. I love it. You should have, next time you get into a butterfly, would you please DM me so that I can get into it too? because you may have that skill. I'm actually, and I'm not joking around, we have an excellent like expert day trader, and we have an expert futures trader. And I mean, they are like machines just putting out profitable trades. And I am now looking for a 0 DTE expert. So you might be that person. All right, no other questions. So let's see, what did TangleWeb? Did TangleWeb end up doing this? I know, see TangleWeb, we both want to know how Cahill did this. We'll just get Cahill to start. Oh, it was 15 wide. Wow, that's nice. Yeah, I could see why it's nerve-wracking. How's it doing right now? Where are we at right now on this thing? Oh, look, and cat's still going up. But I'm conservative. I'm more conservative. I just want a little bit more confirmation. Watch overnight, it like totally tanks. I might, you know what I might do on that one is I might get myself a spread before the day's closed on Caterpillar. Oh, it's still at 38.30. I should have not said anything. All right, let's take a look and see what else we got going on here. So Adobe's got a nice chart, getting a buy signal here on a 1 hour. That's interesting. Oh my God, it went up $9 today. Holy mollies. That wasn't even on my radar. I haven't even opened up my thing. I should have. This looks really nice. I could see why, even still on a 1 hour, this is a good chart. And let's take a look and see what we're doing on a 4 hour. So on a 4 hour, we're just getting a buy signal at the 338.19 level. So look at that. So just on a 4 hour, we're getting a buy. It literally just hit it, 338.25, and we're at 338.31. With your stop loss at 329, too far. I mean, if you were doing stocks, maybe. So let's go ahead and shorten that up, because who's got them pockets? So what do we have here? Getting a buy on an hourly at 340.92. So it's above the 21 on an hourly. That looks very nice. This one's not so bad on a 335.82. You could get yourself into a call debit spread for overnight, and then tomorrow close out one of the wings, or just close the position and then open up a call position if you wanted to, if you did, you know, kind of worried about the overnight action. I know a lot of people get a little nervous, and I don't blame you. Yeah, if you're taking an overnight these days, you have to be willing to, you know, lose 50 to 100% of your, and that's why you just position yourself small. So now on a 15-minute, this looks great on a 15-minute as well. You can see on a 15-minute, we came up, came down, based, and then staying above that 15-minute 21, 237.42, perfect. So Adobe looks nice for possibly an overnight. You could see though, on a 15-minute, 338.29. So we just actually crossed the threshold for the buy signal. And then our first target is at 339.97. So about $1.50, and then possibly 339.97. And then you're entering, right, the resistance zone. So I often always say to get out, you know, on the way up. So tomorrow morning, you see that we're up here, time to get out. So let me just open that up a little. So that was a fresh So it doesn't, interesting, I'm getting a miscalculation for the day, but it actually looks good on both accounts. I can just move that over. Sorry, my system's slow because I have everything going. Okay, so so here you can see Adobe with the 240-minute, which is the hourly. And I typically put the hourly as well as daytime, for swings. And then I can just kind of check the 15-minute and see how we're doing. So I just wanted, I clicked down here just so that you could see the thing here. So now we have a stay along on an hourly for XOM. But on a daily, we have a definite buy, which could mean that this is just slowing down a little bit. 107.16 on a fresh. So that one on a fresh buy signal for daytime. However, looks like I already examined this and I found there to be some resistance right here, these two thick white lines. And so, and you can see the bear wave right here, which means that this could be a fake out. And so let me see, where is that at? 107.16. Oh boy, we're right at that 2021. I'd like to see it get on top of it, kind of break it, but we're on the day. Let's take a look at a 4-hour real quick. We did break up against that gold trend line, which is positive. 106.75 was the entry for XOM. If you had your dynamic watch list set out with your favorite stocks, you could have already done this analysis anytime during the daytime. I like to do it at the end of day, just to kind of see what's going on for the next day. So you could see that we have a squeeze up. We got the bull wave, which is confirmation. We are above that 21. We are above that trend line. This trend line right here was important. We broke through it earlier today, and we are above that now. Very positive. I would only want to see, like, so how much farther we got to go till we hit resistance here. And that would be about, 70 cents. So I guess that's, it needs to pass that, right? Now, when we look at this on an hourly, I think it gives a different viewpoint. And that viewpoint is we hit our high and we've been basing. It's not a bad thing that we've been basing here, but that consolidation is going to mean one of two things. Either we break up higher or we break lower. And so we're kind of like in that indecision area. And then we have a little bit of momentum shifting to the downside here. So we'll, it's just, okay, good to know. All these ones with these buys are kind of getting close to their resistance levels. And I think that's the only thing you have to take in consideration as you look for swings, right? And so that's why, a lot of people really like doing overnight swings on support and resistance type trades. And this would be something like that. You can see what we did was, boy, this is, yeah, I don't know if I would want to do it on this stock. It doesn't have, it has a wide bid and ask. This is actually giving a sell and a short on a 1 day. It could, let's see, let me one more. It's actually getting a nice fresh sell, but could be a fake out if it ends up just touching this 21 right here. And that 21, because why am I just referring to the 21? Because that's our mean. So remember that price gets away from the 21, and what's it do? It comes back to our mean. And once it gets back to the mean, it's going to do one of two things. And that means it's going to turn around and go back up, or it's going to break down. So knowing that and knowing it's like right there, 538. Oh, it actually has like way more, distance to go. Not bad. Let's take a look and see what a spread looks like in there. $230. 205 to make 295. So you can see the difference in the risk and the reward. So, and it's hedged, so it's not going to move as drastic. You know, it going 10 bucks, excuse me, it moving like $10 as an example tomorrow will, you know, get you 20 or 30% out of this. It's not going to give you the full pop as it would if you were to buy a, you know, a put. And of course, a put 10 days away would cost you $880. So you could see the difference in that, but not interested at this point. And so what were we going to do with this? I think I have one of the trailers on NVIDIA, Tangle Web, that we're discussing, and I'm going to take that out. I'm just going to close it before we get late here. Well, yeah, I could leave it till tomorrow. Yeah, the extra time would be good. So we'll do that. How many of those did I have? Seemed like it. Okay. All right, what else we got going on here? We got 5 minutes. Last call. Well, how many days now have we had that's going on 5? It still does look bearish, doesn't it? A lot of consolidation here, though. Somewhat close to that stop loss area, which, yeah, but it's still underneath the 21 and going down. Let me just take a look at the 15 real quick. Yeah, just kind of holding that pattern. Probably will go another step down, but gotta get that wedge of a trend line here. I think because I don't have any conviction on it, I'm going to lay off that for just a little bit. And then right before we say goodbye, I just want to make sure there's no other questions. I hear you. That's a good call, Tangle Web, because if it ends up going against you a little bit tomorrow, you won't lose as much because you have the time factor. And then Cahill was looking at the volume at the 3920 node, okay, which was higher earlier, and the volume at the 3950. And at the time, it was leaning towards the 3920. Good job. Awesome analysis. Basically using a volume profile. I love it. Do you ever look to day trade spreads that aren't 0 DTE? And yes, I've done that before. I've done that before, but remember that on a spread, your date is important because the spread, if it moves in your favor, it will give you profit, but not as much profit if the expiration was closer. So just something to take into consideration. If you are looking for a day trade, not a bad thing to take a 0 DTE or, you know, 1 day as an example. Sometimes as an example, if I did a 0 DTE spread on SPX, if I felt like there was enough volume in the market to take me, I would take the 0 DTE. If I didn't think there was enough volume in the market, then I would take the next day, giving me that time element. Am I going to do Power Hour every day? No, right now we just have it on Tuesdays. And look, Jay is supposed to do it with me, Pamela. Do you want to be my sidekick? And we could do it several days a week. I need a sidekick because I know that you guys are shocked, but I do get a little stage fright. I like it when I'm talking to somebody. I feel like it makes more sense as we go back and forth. I need a co-host. Where in the hell is Jay at? Somebody email him and give him a hard time. Yes, you know, I'm part of Magic 8 Ball as well. We're actually going to get his tools in our Discord. This is the thing that we're trying to do, or the thing that I'm trying to do in our Discord is I recognize that everyone has about 10 different Discords that they're watching. And when you do that, unfortunately, I know for myself, your attention gets diverted. And then you're not catching the trades and catching your trades as clearly and more as efficient as they should be, because you're just focused on so many other things. So I think at the time that I recognized that I couldn't do it all, make the watch list, make the trades, do this, do that, I decided, all right, well, why don't I just try to get the best of the best? So we have an excellent, seriously, an expert day trader, as well as a swing trader and a futures trader. And I'm the educator, and so I need a 0 DTE. So in the process of doing that, I found Magic 8 Ball. And so we're going to get those tools in our Discord. And again, it's just being able to kind of have the best of the best on different types of different types of tools and traders for our membership. And by doing that, you can just have one membership that kind of includes, hopefully, the best of the best, versus having 10, where maybe you like one thing out of each of those 10 Discords. At least that's my thought process. That's my business plan going forward. And so, yes, so cool. I'm glad you're looking at the nodes too. I need to get better at them. Apparently, you are really good at this, so we're going to have to talk. So Pamela now is going to be my sidekick for going live. And I'm actually going to be talking to Max, Motion Max. He is a trader. He actually looks at candlesticks a little differently. He uses the strat as well as some other types of trading that he's picked up along the way. He's very good. And we may be going live tonight. I say may because we keep our calendars keep crossing, but I'm hoping maybe to get him on board with the TMS team. So we're gonna hopefully get on tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll send out a text and let you guys know in the channel if you're interested in taking a look at the way that he analyzes charts, and we'll go from there. But always just trying to bring more services as well as quality content here. Appreciate you guys being here. And if there are no more questions, we will, I guess, see you tonight. I hope you guys had Some good trading today, making some money, saving some money, hopefully. Thanks, guys. Take care now. Have a great day.